Hey friends, welcome back to G-Bear's Homestead. I am presenting to you a video today about making lower sugar raspberry preserve. So I thought I had lost the footage and I was a little distressed about it because there was some other footage on one of those little SIM cards. And so I was a little distressed about that. But at the end of the day, I found it. So I decided I would still go ahead and string that video together and make you a video on how I made the low sugar raspberry preserve. It's a pretty quick video, pretty cut and dry. I mean, it's like making a blueberry preserve, but with red raspberries. So, but I figured I would go ahead and present that to you, even though I shot the video nearly 2 months ago. So I hope you enjoy it, and away we go. Hey friends, welcome back to Two Bears Homestead. If you're new here, my name is Paul, and we are glad to have you here. So we are doing a quick video tonight on making low sugar raspberry preserve. So for those of you that have been following along with us, will know that we are focusing on reducing sugar in our diet, pretty much eliminating it in most cases. But every once in a while, you need that little nosh, something sweet. And the raspberry preserves or the blueberry preserves that I made a couple of videos ago are great for that. And I'll tell you something else. Raspberry preserve on roast pork, it's a game changer. It was really good. It was such a random thing to try, and I was like, wow, that was delicious. So, it's not a lot. I mean, it's kind of like you do, like the mint jelly on lamb. Same thing, it's just really, really good. So, we're going to go ahead, we're going to bang this out, and if you have any questions or comments or suggestions, I would love to hear from you. Leave them below in the comments. And I'm also going to drop the recipe below as well. It is the same as the blueberry recipe, but I wanted to tag it on this video, I guess. So, let's get cracking and let's go make some raspberry jam. So the recipe calls for a single batch, and the first thing we need to do is we need to measure out 8 cups of fresh raspberry. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and mash the 8 cups down. It should yield about 5 cups of mashed down raspberry. So we have 8 cups of fresh raspberries. You can also use frozen. If you decide that you want to do the frozen, then you can. You still should measure the raspberries frozen solid, and then when you defrost them and mash them down, and then you'll still get your 5-cup yield. And then we have 3.5 cups of sugar. I'm using organic cane sugar. It's 3.5 cups, but I need to reserve out 1/4 cup and set that aside and mix that 1/4 cup with the pectin. And that will be mixed in with 3 tablespoons of lemon juice. So we're going to go ahead, we're going to get these mashed down, and let's get this party on the road. So the tool I'm using to mash down the raspberries is this potato masher. I'm going to come up and show you this. Can you see this potato masher? This is one of those old style potato mashers, and it is made in the USA. It is one of my favorite things, and here's why. This thing was my mother's, and as many of you know, I've been dealing with my father and getting him into assisted living and so forth. So I've been going through the house, and that's going to be kind of falling on me. And I found my mother's potato masher. This thing is probably 45 years old, might even be 50 years old, or might even be older than me. This is all I knew growing up, and what I like about it is it's round. So when you're mashing in a pot, it goes all the way around the pot, versus one of, I don't know where my other potato masher is. I can't find my actual potato masher in the house, but this, I love this, and this was my mother's. I mean, it's a little crooked, it's got some years on it, but it's a great memory, so I'm just thrilled to be able to tell you about that. And I'm finding some pretty cool things in my father's house that were my mother's, even though my mother didn't live in that house. A lot of the stuff, he kept from, when he moved down from New Jersey here to Florida. So, but cool little find. I just thought I'd share this story with you. So, Mom's potato masher, mashing my raspberries. Just mash them to your desired consistency. Hello, geeky girl. Look who came to see me. Who's a geeky girl? Who's a happy girl, huh? Who's a happy girl? We just adopted her. She's only here 2 days. Love her. She's a great little puppy. Back to the raspberries. Okay, so here's the pot on the stove ready to go. The raspberries are here. This is the pectin mixture, and then it says to add in the 3 tablespoons of lemon juice. Basically, all we're doing is just combining sugar and the pectin together. And for here is a boil that can't be stirred down. Now you see how I can stir the boil down here, and then as soon as I take my spoon away, it starts bubbling up. So we want to get it to when we stir it, that boil is not going away. So we're almost there. You always want to stir this because it'll just scorch on the bottom. There's a lot of sugar in the raspberries. See, it can't be stirred down. See how it's still boiling as I stir it, right here. There we go. So now this is when you want to add your sugar in. Continue cooking and boiling for 1 more minute. See, got clumps of sugar in there. Full boil. We just need to let this boil for at least 1 minute. Kill the heat. Do a dop on a plate that was in the freezer. And let's see if it sets. Okay, here's the test. Looks like it's set. I think we have a nice set. Pretty good too. Hey, what's you doing, Kiki? What's you doing, Waggy Tails? What you doing, Waggy Tails? You happy in your new house? Are you happy in your new house, Waggy Tails? Okay, so the important thing to do is after you get it to a full rolling boil and you test the setting on the cold plate out of the freezer, you want to leave it off the burner for about 10 or 15 minutes, stirring occasionally, because what's happening is it's scalding hot, and the fruit and the bits and all the good stuff will float to the top. And you want to make sure you get an even distribution in your canning. So just occasional stir, and just let it be. And then use this time to set up your canning stage. So I already have the water for the canner in there. Jars are already in there, ready to go. And I just need to clean up the space on the counter, and we will get this canning. Okay, so I don't know if you can actually see it here, but I had the canner full of jars because I thought I was going to be able to get that double batch out of it. Turns out I wasn't. So I don't know if you can see it, but there are jars still in the canner. I'm leaving them there so the canner is full and the jars are stabilized in the can. So I managed to get what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 jars out of this. So I'm pleased with that. So let's see, now the canner is starting to boil. You see a little popping starting. So I'm going to go ahead, get the cover on it, and then we will bring it to we'll set the timer when we start boiling. So this recipe calls for a 5-minute rolling boil for the canning processing. I'm not buying that. The ball book for all the ball recipes says 10 minutes, so that's what we're going to do. We're going to do this for water bath canning processing at 10 minutes. So that's pretty much how you do it. It's pretty straightforward. The one of the things I want to just maybe clarify during in this process is when you're boiling the fruit, always stir it, because if you walk away even for a nanosecond, the sugars will just burn on the bottom of the pot. So I've had that happen to me in a past life, but just stay with it and you got to keep stirring it. So it's a commitment. It takes like 10 minutes. So, but it depends on how high you have your flame. But I have my flame on medium high, so you just keep stirring it. And then once it gets to that rolling boil, that when you stir it, keep spitting and it doesn't stir down, that's when you go ahead and add the sugar. And then you just get that in there real good, and then you bring that back to a boil. So once you add the sugar, and I don't know if you caught that in the video, the fruit was pretty thick, and then once I added the sugar, it liquefied. So that's that's obviously the sugar doing that. So when it comes back to that hard boil after for a minute or so, then you just get it off the flame and then let it sit and then stir it. The reason you want to do that, and I think I mentioned, I'm not sure if I did, but I'm going to tell you now, is because it's so hot. Remember, like I probably should stick a thermometer in it to see how hot it really gets. But that's like candy making, so it's scalding hot. So the fruit will rise up, and so if you don't stir it down, then it'll separate in the jars. I've had that happen in past life as well. So you push it off the burner. You saw me do that. Just let it sit and let it cool for about 10 or 15 minutes. Give it a good stir, and then go ahead and can it, and then you get even distribution. Now, these guys are scalding hot. Hey, a ping! Did you hear the ping? So this is the raspberry preserves, or raspberry jam, whatever you want to call it. I will tell you, like I said earlier, or maybe I didn't, I don't even recall. If I did say it, I'm repeating it, and if I didn't say it, I thought about it and I forgot to say it. But I'll tell you, on roast pork, the raspberry preserve is so good. Such a random thing to try. It was absolutely delicious, and I use it on all sorts of stuff. I'll even put a little bit in like homemade dressing, because it's a little sweet, like a raspberry dressing. But it's great. I use it in my Italian cooking or my Italian cookie making, I should say. For the thumbprint cookies, with the jelly fillet in the middle, and then also there's another ping, and then also for when I make the Italian rainbow cookies, I use a layer of the raspberry jam in that as well. So kind of rambling on a little bit. It's a pleasure to be back doing this. So if you want to see how I made the blueberry jam, that's low sugar. This is low sugar. Look at this video. It'll be right about here, I'm hoping. And as always, please hit like and subscribe. We would love it if you follow us on our journey. We're kind of back at it. I hope you enjoyed some of the looks of our, or the little sneak peeks of Kinky D, our new dog on the homestead. She's a rescue. We picked her up this week. Had some complications with her health, but we got that straightened out, and I'll tell you about that in another video. But I'm thrilled, and she's a great dog. This is great jam, and I'm having a great time. We'll see you on the next video. Thank you for watching.